This is Emily,
Henley,
and Sammy, and you're listening to Too Scary Didn't Watch.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Too Scary Didn't Watch, the horror movie recap podcast for those too scared to watch for themselves. I'm Emily. I'm very, very scared.
I'm Henley. I'm also scared.
I am Sammy. I'm usually brave, but today I'm also pretty scared.
Her resolve is deteriorating.
No. Well, did anything scary happen to us in the real world?
I have one following the same theme from a couple weeks ago. I had yet another scary cat dream.
Oh, no.
If anyone wants to write in and tell us what these mean, I would love to hear.
I would truly love that. Dream interpreters, please let us know.
Please let us know.
What these dreams mean.
So this time it was my childhood cat Oreo, and and his feet fell off.
I hate that. That's scary.
Really bad.
And I had to carry him around because I couldn't put him on the ground. And I was trying to get to work, but I couldn't because I needed to get Oreo to the vet first. And that was just the conundrum I was in. I can't really remember the rest of it, but yeah, his feet fell off. It was really upsetting.
That's scary.
That is scary.
Very
what about you guys?
Scary.
Well, I keep shoehorning them in, but really, okay, the scariest thing that happened to me this week, it also happened to Sammy. And on Friday, we were out at a local bar. I won't say where because we're trying to keep it private. And we saw none other than Matthew Reese.
Woo! Sammy.
In the real world, and I almost cried. I started hyperventulating. And I almost
this is a
cried.
big deal for us. I'd say this was
huge deal for us.
The Americans it's your all-time favorite.
We
TV show.
love Matthew Reese and Carrie Russell.
Philip Jennings from The Americans. Wow.
We have a video of both of us crying when he won an Emmy, and we were really tempted to go show it to him.
We love him so much. We love him so much. And he's also just someone I would never expect to see. He doesn't I kept saying, what's he doing here?
Why
because
is
he doesn't
here?
live here in LA. I know this. And also I was like, where's Carrie? What's happening? Why is he here? And I think he's shooting something, and that's normal. And couples can be separate, and that's also healthy. But
would have been great to see both of them, though.
If I might have passed out. I really might have passed out if I'd seen them together.
True.
It was scary in a good way.
A scary thing that happened to me this week was do you guys get your phone notifying you of your average screen time each day on Sundays?
Yes.
Yeah.
My fucking average screen time last week was 5 hours and 47 minutes a day. And it shook me to my core.
Wait, I want to look at mine now. No. I'm curious what mine is.
Okay, so I downloaded this new game, and this is exactly why it's been happening. And it's called Block Doku. Don't download it.
I'm downloading it right now. Block Doku.
Block Doku. It's a mixture between Tetris and Sudoku.
Oh boy.
And truly, I guess I play it 5 hours and 47 minutes a day.
Are you really good at it though? I bet you're
I'm
great
pretty
at
good at it. Yeah. But I deleted it after that because I was like, what am I doing with my life? It was a nightmare.
Yeah.
The other very scary thing that happened to me this week was watching this week's movie, which was terrifying. This week's movie was The Conjuring.
Oh boy.
Came out in 2013.
Scary.
It is very scary. Directed by James Wan, written by Chad and Carrie Hayes, starring Patrick Wilson, Vera Farmiga, Ron Livingston, Lily Taylor, Joey King, Mackenzie Foy.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And it's fucking scary.
Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. I am really scared. We have technically a return guest, but you may have heard, we disclosed due to technical difficulties and or haunting our last episode with this guest never surfaced. So we're all really nervously watching the recording as it happens. She's a comedian. She is an actor. She has 2 podcasts. A Funny Feeling and we love trash. She is the very best, and we're so thrilled she was willing to come back and do this again.
Thank you for coming
Betsy
again.
Sodaro.
Thanks for having. No, seriously, I'm so pumped because I said this before, and I'll say it again. It's my favorite thing.
Yeah,
to talk about horror movies.
You are a known lover of Halloween, scary movies.
Yes.
In fact, when our friend Jess came on a few weeks ago, she just name dropped you so many times, so casually that she was like,
Oh,
and
that's
Betsy,
right.
and I was, because of Betsy, and I realized as we were going, like, we're just going to assume everyone knows what we're talking about.
Yeah. I'm the only Betsy in the world.
I think that's right. I think that's right.
Yep.
I think so.
I'm so pumped, and I'm even more pumped to see if this one gets ruined. Because then that means I'm fucking haunted.
We're going to have a real conundrum on our
We're
hands
gonna-
if that happens again.
I will like really. I'll go through something if it happens.
Two makes it a pattern, and and what's common there is you.
Yep.
And
Yep.
let's just hope. Fingers crossed.
Hope.
Let's just hope. Betsy, what's the scariest movie you've ever seen?
Well, actually, I mean, recently, I think it has to be The Conjuring.
Ooh.
Within the last, I mean, that was 6 years ago, but like that was one that just wow, fucked me up. I loved it though. I loved it so much, but I was like, I hadn't felt that way in a while. Seeing a movie. I did recently just watch, I think it's streaming on Prime, this one called Hell House LLC.
Oh my God.
And it's a blast, and I jumped a lot. It's kind of like a found footage about this group of friends putting together a big like haunted house for Halloween, but then all this shit goes down. It's pretty fun. It's a good jump scare one.
Oh,
boy.
Because this one's a lot of jump scares, right?
Yeah, but then also like just really good, creepy, earned. It's such a good balance.
Is amazing. This is like a real
Actors.
a real movie. Yeah.
I think that's why it was. I don't know if it was a hit. I think it was. I mean, it sprouted off a whole.
Yeah, I didn't realize that like Annabelle and all of those are part of it too.
And I think it was where it's just like, oh, these are good actors. This is straight up a good movie that happens to be scary. Yeah. It's so good. But this, and then The Changeling is one of the scariest movies I've ever seen.
The lost episode.
The lost episode. And as I was watching Conjuring again, there's a lot of like
some
similar
similarities.
things. Where I'm like, ooh, I think
yes,
this is what gets me going.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I think Sammy's actually scared. This one kind of really got to her, I think.
It's scary.
Yeah, well, so I'll tell the story of the first time I saw The Conjuring because I didn't see it in theaters. If I'd seen this in theaters, I would have just dropped dead, I think.
It was one of those where it was just like...
Did you see it in theaters, Betsy?
3 times.
Oh my God.
I loved it so much, but that first time just...
Oh my God.
On the edge of my seat, like just holding on to Mono and Drew, just being like, what's going to happen? Like, it's awesome.
I was working at a trailer place where we were working on this movie, and I was an assistant editor. And one of the producers at the end of the night, first of all, there was long-standing knowledge that the building that we worked in was haunted.
Oh.
And I was on the night shift. And so as everyone left, one of the producers was like, can you go through like this new movie we just got in, The Conjuring, and like pull selects from it? And so I was alone in the like machine room is what we called it, where it's just like computer screens everywhere. And so every time I moved, my reflection would move. And so I was just like jumping around like freaking myself out, and I had to watch The Conjuring by myself.
I can't believe you got through that.
It was
That's
a
really
true
scary
nightmare.
way
I
to
like
have
thought
to
I was
watch
like,
It's also like an HR claim waiting
that's what
to
I was going to
happen.
say. Should I quit? Like,
Yeah,
I
definitely.
Do you do it with like headphones on
Yes,
too? That's
yes.
so scary.
Yeah.
That's a horrifying way to have to watch
Oh,
it.
it was a nightmare. And so this is the first time I've rewatched it since then. And I was really scared. And Henley graciously actually offered to be the brave person this week. And I figured since I had already seen it, I might as well just bite the bullet so that I could scare you by telling about it.
I don't know what you were thinking, Henley.
It's exactly what you said earlier. Mind over matter. Mind over matter.
Henley went. So we'll see what happens. Henley texted today because I was doing some research about this movie and was already like, I just like searched I like typed The Conjuring into my Google search, and the images that came up, I was like, oh God, no. And I was getting so scared. And I texted about it in our chain, and Emily said, I just decided I'm not going to be scared by this movie. I'm like, okay.
I love that.
I made a decision, Emily.
You have to watch it then, and we have to find out if it does scare you.
Okay, I need someone to watch it with me, though, because my fiance will not watch any scary movies.
Okay.
It's not going to be me.
It's not going to be Emily for sure.
No, God, no.
In a strange role reversal, Henley doesn't seem to be that scared of this movie, but I am, and I will need a cocktail to make it through it. So let's jump right into cocktail hour. This week's cocktail is a Devil's Margarita. To make this cocktail, you'll need 1.5 ounces of Blanco tequila, 1 ounce of fresh lime juice, 3/4 an ounce of simple syrup, and 1/2 ounce of red wine. Combine the first 3 ingredients in a cocktail shaker with ice and shake until chilled, and then strain into a martini glass and float the red wine over the top. So it has a spooky red float. And garnish with a lime. And if you're like me, you're going to need a couple of them because I am scared. Cheers.
I don't know if you saw this in the news, but the house that inspired where,
yeah,
because The Conjuring's based on a true story.
Very scary.
And somebody just bought the house.
Why?
In like June or July.
That's a stupid
like
decision.
Ghost.
Like
freaks.
paranormal
investigators. And they're like
investigators.
pumped, and they plan on kind of restoring it and then opening it up to the public.
Well, that's kind of fun, I guess. That's better than like a family of
Ghost
7.
investigators.
Yeah, exactly. Like a family of 7 just being like, we're really struggling for money.
Yeah.
We'll buy this house nobody
And
wants.
you should see the picture of the fucking house. Ugh. It is It's from the 1700s, and it looks like it. Like, I couldn't see
I
how
hate it.
any
I'm gonna look it
person
up.
would be like, yeah,
I'm
I
gonna look
want
it
to
up.
live in that.
Where
Like,
is
it
the
looks
house?
like such a haunted house. Where?
I think it's in Rhode Island.
I
Mm,
think.
that's a spooky
New
state.
England is
It is.
scary.
New England is scary.
horrifying.
Yeah, New England is
It's
definitely
it's
horrifying.
so spooky.
It's full of
The
ghosts.
witch.
You know
I
the
mean,
ghosts
after
are all there.
experiencing the witch.
Yes.
Yep.
But yeah, the owner's like immediate as soon as we like bought it and were there, stuff started happening.
Oh God.
Jesus.
God.
Yuck.
So that was one of the trivias
Mhm.
that I looked up, is that I did not know that this was based on a true story.
I was like searching for proof that it was
You
not.
kept trying to prove it was a prank. Sammy kept being like, it's just a prank.
That's when I decided not to be scared.
Because
At
it's a
that
prank?
stage, when Sammy was desperate enough to be searching the internet trying to find out if it was a
I was
prank,
like,
I was like,
so-
no.
I need proof that Ed and Lorraine Warren are like con artists.
Well, there's a lot of like
There's definitely questions to be asked.
stuff on them.
So that's what I was doing to calm myself down afterwards because I was pretty freaked.
yeah. And I feel like some of the stuff
Was
may
faked.
have been legit, but then some of it
Yeah.
may have been fake.
Yeah, I can accept that as long as I'm getting a little bit of.
Getting a little bit of
Yeah.
halfway. Meet me
Safety.
halfway.
Yeah,
Me
yeah.
halfway.
How do you
I
pronounce?
can't have this be a true story.
How do you pronounce the last name of the family? Perrin.
Perrin?
Perrin.
Yeah.
Perrin. I don't know. So here's the trivia: 8
Whoa.
generations of families lived and died in the house before that family moved
8
in.
generations.
So the deaths that happened there included 2 documented suicides, a poisoning death.
Oh,
This one's
Mhm.
bad. The rape and murder of an 11-year-old girl.
God damn
Jesus
it.
Christ.
2 drownings.
Oh,
And 4 men who froze to death.
froze to death.
Wow.
So
really?
not good stuff happening.
Yeah, this is a
in
haunted
that
house.
Yeah, a lot of really, really
And it
ill-at-ease
looks
spirits.
haunted.
And it looks fucking haunted.
Even in the 1700s, I don't think anybody was pumped to look
Yeah.
at that house.
There's no point at which that house was good.
No,
Yeah.
it was always nasty as hell. I guarantee
It
it.
must have been.
Also, when the movie was shown in the Philippines, some cinemas had to hire Catholic priests to bless the viewers before showing it. This was due to some viewers having reported a negative presence after watching the film.
Oh my God.
The priest also provided spiritual and psychological help to the viewers.
Oh my God.
Can you imagine going to see a movie and then immediately upon leaving talking to a priest?
Being like, I need to see my priest.
I need to see my priest. What priest does the theater have?
I was going to say to demand that a theater provide
the theater
a priest.
In-house
I
priest.
have large popcorn, large soda, and the theater priest, please. Okay, yeah, you got it.
Oh, man.
Fuck, that's wild.
Well, okay, so I obviously have not seen this movie. But
Okay.
it apparently doesn't have. Well, it's okay. No sex or nudity, little profanity,
Oh, God, yes.
tame and mostly bloodless violence. But it has an R rating because of how fucking scary it is.
That makes
Just
sense.
from scary. And
That's insane.
the thing that popped up on Netflix, the rating reasons was because of sequences of disturbing violence and terror.
Terror.
It's literally rated R for terror, for just the amount of terror.
So good.
Oh boy, should we watch the trailer?
Let's
I'm
watch the
very
trailer.
scared
Oh my
to
God,
watch
yeah.
the trailer.
Okay,
oh my
come
gosh.
on.
Okay.
Yes.
Buckle up.
It's November 1st, 1971. I'm sitting here with Carolyn Perrin, who, with her family, has been experiencing supernatural occurrences. You picking up anything in here, hon?
Something awful happened here, Ed.
What is it?
We have to get out of here.
That's not gonna help.
This thing has latched itself to your family.
Father, we never seen nothing like this.
I'm coming with you.
No way. I can't lose you.
There's a lady in a dirty nightgown that I see in my dreams. She's standing in front of my mom's bed.
Oh.
I couldn't even watch that trailer. I couldn't even look at it.
Well, that's how I usually am with kind of these kind of horror movies in general. I just cover my eyes a lot. And this time I was like, well, I've got to talk about it. So I was really forcing myself to watch it.
Did you watch it during the daytime?
Good
No,
job.
I watched it at night and I almost turned the lights off. But then I was
Whoa.
like, let's not go overboard.
That's huge. That's huge. I ended up watching this alone, but it was the first time because I've tried before in like hotel rooms. Like it would be on HBO. I was like, yeah, I'm going to watch it. And then I'd get too scared. But I did this time. And I was like, I'm going to go pitch black. But I didn't. I got too scared.
Yeah, I was too scared. And also after watching it, my cat was doing the thing where they just stare at like a space on the wall. And that was not ideal for me.
No. No.
Mm-mm.
Sammy, with two cats, I think it's ill-advised for you to be watching all these horror movies.
Yeah, well, most of them, I've said it before, but it's the ghost and demon stuff that really freaks me out because I can rationalize away, like, say, an Event Horizon. I'm not in that situation.
You're not in space. In space facing a black hole
Yeah.
to hell.
Oh, God, yeah.
But yeah, these ones
Ghosts
get me.
really scare me.
Yeah.
They scare me so much.
Well, should we launch right in?
I
Should we just
guess.
get right
oh
into
my
it?
God.
I mean,
are
I'm
you
scared.
ready?
Honestly, I'm as ready as I'll ever be.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's
The time
fucking
is now.
do it.
Fucking do
fucking
it.
do
I'm
it.
so pumped.
Let's do
It's
it.
the best.
Well, it starts with Annabelle.
Annabelle.
And it's kind of, I guess, like a flashback to their another case that the Warrens did. So, okay, so Ed and Lorraine Warren are Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga. They're paranormal researchers.
Mhm.
He's a demonologist. She's a clairvoyant.
Yeah.
And they're kind of a team that go in and help people with hauntings. And so this is one of their previous cases.
Wonder
is
how they met.
And they're also married?
Right?
Are they like together?
Oh, yeah,
together?
They're
yeah,
married. They're a married
lovers.
couple. Yes.
They love each other.
And Lorraine Warren was an advisor on the film. She was still alive at the she actually just died this year.
Yeah.
Oh,
But she was an advisor on this film and said it all happened.
What did she
Oh,
die of? Just curious.
I think she was just old age. I don't know.
really?
Yeah, I think just being
Oh
old
yeah,
as
no,
hell.
it was,
that
it was a demon. I
Oh,
think.
really? Oh, okay.
Sure. Likely story.
Yeah, demon sucked her age out of her.
Okay, that makes way more sense.
Yeah, so they're like talking to three people,
Mhm.
two who are nurses. And this is based, Annabelle is a real doll.
But it was a Raggedy Ann doll,
but it's a Raggedy Ann doll in real life.
And they were like, let's make it a way scarier looking doll.
Yeah, a way nastier doll. That in the Annabelle movies, too many people are like, oh, this doll is awesome looking. It's like, no, that's fucking nasty.
Yeah.
Too many people are like, what a beautiful doll. But the nurses are like, it started off with just like a hand moving, like the doll's hand being not where it was propped. And then it started going on to like being in a different room and all of this shit.
And then they start getting like notes from it.
Yeah, that right. Like, miss me. And they tell Ed and Lorraine, they're like, oh, a psychic or somebody told us that there's a spirit of a little girl named Annabelle.
Right.
Like hanging around and wanted to use our doll. And so we're nurses. We like to help people, they say. And they're like, go ahead, spirit, live in this doll.
Uh-oh.
Right.
Oh, no.
And Ed and Lorraine are both like, you did what? You can't do that. That's not a ghost. It's a demon or a being that's not human.
Right.
And has never been human.
And so the nurses invited a demon into the doll, giving it more power.
Yes.
Yeah, because they like helping people.
What would have happened though if they had said no? Can you really? Do we have the power to be like, no, demon? And it'll go like, ugh, maybe they didn't say yes.
I mean, I guess so.
Maybe.
There are things that humans can do to invite demons into their lives.
I like to
people
hear that.
who have had weird shit happening just be like, okay, go in and just be like, this is my space.
No.
Get out.
Right.
And it works, but also I don't know.
Probably because there are so many easier targets.
Yeah.
Right.
Hit up an actual kid.
Yeah.
You idiot.
So these stupid fucking nurses invited a demon into the doll.
Yes. And all this creepy shit starts happening.
And eventually they're like so freaked out that they like take it downstairs to the dumpster.
Yeah, they throw Annabelle in the trash.
That never works.
You're
works.
absolutely right. It never works.
Never works.
They're sleeping in their fucking huge thick nightgowns and there's banging on the door. And they open the doors. He looks around, nothing, and then looks down, and the crumpled up "miss me" note from earlier written in crayons because she's a doll is crumpled, is like folded out at their doorstep.
On the doorstep.
And then they hear another bang from a door down the hallway, and one of the other nurse opens up the door.
And in the room, there's drawings all over the walls in red crayon, so it kind of looks like blood. It's very spooky and creepy.
Very spooky. Crayons are awful.
It says "miss me" again, I think.
Yeah.
And Annabelle's just in the room,
just chilling.
Scary.
And so they've gone to Ed and Lorraine to be like, we don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And Ed and Lorraine are like, okay, we'll take the doll for you.
Oh,
Which apparently,
wow.
and here I've for a funny feeling, I did a little blob on Annabelle the doll, and apparently, like on the way home, while I think Ed was driving the doll was in the back seat. Like their car started to like malfunction and stuff. And they're like, it's the doll.
Oh my God.
Maybe
Isn't
it's
that
the
wild?
demon we put in our car.
Yeah.
And then I think it just cuts to them in the university like classroom, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So it's
Wait, did we already say that this is 1970?
Well, that was a few years earlier. I think that was like sometime mid 60s,
Okay.
and then it cuts to
Oh yeah, and then it's like pulling out of a
projection
thing.
and they're teaching that case in a class to like university students, and so they're like, and that was, the Annabelle case.
And how we solved the Annabelle case.
And that's where we get to meet them and hear more information about them, and they're, like
There's a
I
part
said,
where a person's like, so what do you call yourselves? And Patrick Wilson's like, oh, paranormal investigators, one other thing. And then Vera Farmiga comes in, she goes, kooks. And it gets a big laugh.
Big laugh.
Did they say what they end up doing with the doll after?
Yes, it comes in later. We'll see her again.
Determined.
Yeah.
We'll see her again.
So then there's like a fun like freeze frame of them, and it's like, like creepy loud music. And then it goes to explain like Ed and Lorraine Warren have done a bunch of cases, and there was one that they were too scared to talk about until now. And then it's like The Conjuring, and it looks cool and old, like it looks like a 70s horror movie. Yeah, the font
Is
is
that
70s.
true that they truly like didn't talk about this case until this movie was being made?
I don't
I'm
know.
not sure about that.
Okay.
But so then we cut to this family of 7.
Too many.
Too
Lots of
many.
lots of
5.
Too many.
Lots of babies.
Mother and father
many.
and 5 daughters. Moving into a new spooky house.
Too spooky.
The mom and dad are Roger and Carolyn, and the daughters are Christine, Cindy, Andrea, April, and Nancy. And they move in, and the dog won't come in the house.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
not a
dog,
good sign.
bad sign.
And immediately you're
no.
like, fuck.
The
Yeah.
animals always know.
Yes,
Yeah.
animals always know.
They are connected.
Animals always know, and kids always talk to the ghost. Like,
Yes.
The kid's always like the first one to see it.
yeah, I'll
Yes.
never have a kid for many reasons, but that's a big one where it's,
It's
like,
a big one.
they have a fucking imaginary friend. That's a ghost. I don't need to be around that. That's fucking gross. Get out of here.
So then we get introduced to their horrible clapping hide and seek game. So they're in this big kind of, new house, and the girls are all excited, and they play hide and seek. And the rules of the game are you get to ask the people hiding to clap at 3 different points in the game. So you get like warmer and closer to one is the idea.
Yeah.
So they're playing that in the new house, and I hate this game.
I hate this game so much. I hate it so much.
So it's like hide and seek plus Marco Polo.
Yes,
But with
yeah,
clapping.
pretty much.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, and so the littlest one has discovered this music box and is sitting there, and it's just like, and looking at it. And then when the music stops, she like looks behind her shoulder.
Oh,
This is a little something.
just a little
Something.
something.
So they're playing this clap game, and one of the girls finds another one in this closet and like shoves her, being like, I got you. And lo and behold, there's a big thundering crash. They discover a damn door or a doorway
to a basement.
to a fucking basement.
Oh, no.
That's very Conjuring, discovering, the fucking changeling.
Oh, discovering
Changeling,
random.
Conjuring?
They're so similar.
CH?
C
End with a G?
G, the
E?
CHing,
The
the CH.
CHing?
Oh, I guess Conjuring didn't.
Oh, Conjuring doesn't have a CH. The C.
The C.
What's going on?
Look, I don't think we're making a leap here.
Nuh-uh. So they discover a nasty basement, and the dad like goes down, and the mom follows, and he's just using matches, and he's like, "Whoa, there's a lot of stuff," and it's like
like a
horrifying
spooky
looking.
piano, and then all sorts of things like covered in sheets, and so many spider webs and cobwebs, and it's
And
disgusting.
a ball, a red ball.
No way. A
Mhm.
red ball?
Way, dude.
That's another reference
I
to
was
the
gonna say
changeling.
that was another thing that was close
So yeah,
to changeling.
a piano where the mom, maybe this is later when they're like going through it, but where she plays 3 notes.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay.
Remember that.
Getting that.
Remember that. It's so scary.
But I don't think anything like scary happens yet. They go to sleep that night.
Yes.
And then they wake up in the morning, and the mom has like bruises, like
Crazy bruises.
but they have sex that night.
Yeah,
her and
they
the dad.
do it.
They're like, and so she wakes up and she's like, "Ooh,
But we
you
don't
were-"
see it.
we don't see it."
No.
but they talk about it, and then the next morning she's like, "Ooh, I guess like we got a little rough last night, but like the bruises are kind of like they're crazy."
They're huge bruises. Like getting hit with like a bat bruises.
Yeah.
She doesn't
Oh,
seem
and
more suspicious
No,
of them?
she writes it off pretty quick, and
Yeah, she thinks Roger did it to her.
yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And then
He slapped her leg with his dick.
Huge bruise from that. Huge bruises from that.
Honey, you must have slapped me with your big, heavy dick.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Not again.
Yeah,
Roger.
probably.
What's his
Yeah,
name?
definitely possible. Definitely possible for me.
Yeah, he's a pretty big dick. Yeah, probably got you.
and she notices that all the clocks stopped at 3:07.
Oh,
Which
which
are-
I I talked about this
on Changeling. I remember.
So I'm going to repeat it because the listeners haven't heard it.
The listeners haven't heard it.
But after my third time seeing it, The Conjuring, I went out, had fun, and then went to bed and fucking woke up at 3:07 a.m. and had to immediately just email all of my friends who I just saw The Conjuring with, just be like, this is too fucking spooky. I like turned the lights on and watched Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Yeah.
Because I was too fucking scared. Yeah.
It's the only choice at that point.
That's it. It's happening to me.
And then the youngest daughter, April, is like, where's Sadie? And they're like, oh, we couldn't get her to come in. She's still outside. Oh, Sadie's the dog. Sorry.
Yes, Sadie's the dog.
And she's like, oh, she's tied up outside. And they go outside and Sadie has been killed. Sadie is dead.
Strangled
herself.
herself.
The animal always.
Because as they were getting ready for bed and to do it, Sadie kept just barking at the house
and barking.
The mom's like, wow, Sadie's really been losing it. And he's like, don't worry, she's tied up, she'll be fine. And then she died.
How is she? How has she been killed?
Rule. I think they say like she strangled herself to death, but
yeah, obviously that's not the real reason.
A ghost did it.
Oh
that is so sad.
Yeah. It's bad, but honestly, a part of me was a little relieved because you know that dog is gonna die, and it happened really quick.
It did happen quick,
and I was like, okay, I was like, okay,
thank God.
That's a horror movie trope though that I want to see. Like, because that's always usually the rule setter. Almost is like, well, it has to happen not to a human first. Let's do a dog, and it's like, no,
yeah. So then we get to, it cuts to the Warren household, Ed and Lorraine's house, and we kind of see their, they have a room full of objects that have been possessed by demons, I guess. The conduits.
They have a room where they just put them all?
Like a bunch of locks. And
Annabelle's in there and all sorts of other creepy shit. And
he's like getting interviewed by a dude. And he's like, here's all of our stuff. Do not touch any of this.
Yeah.
Because the demon could attach to you instead.
Yeah. And we find that they have a daughter. And then I think we go back to the Perrin household.
Yeah.
And it's... This is the part that I hate the most, I think, is it's in the two of the girls' bedrooms.
This is one of the scariest scenes ever.
It's Christine and Nancy, two of the middle sisters, and they have like twin beds next to each other, and Christine's leg gets pulled. And you see it.
And they're sleeping?
They're sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And she kind of like turns and is like, Nancy, like, stop it. And she says, stop farting.
Because everybody's been kind of complaining, like,
there's a smell.
There's a nasty smell in the house, which is never a good sign.
Not a good sign.
Not a good sign. And it's also cold in the house.
Yes.
Not a good sign.
Very cold. And so she's like, Nancy, stop pulling my leg and stop farting.
Yeah.
And you see that
Nancy is put on Nancy.
Poor Nancy. Nancy really gets it, this movie.
And you see that Nancy is just asleep in her bed. And
then like a bigger pull out, or is that not yet?
I don't think that one is yet.
Okay. Does she realize what's happened to her or no?
No, she's just like a little like confused.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe she thinks she had one of those dreams where you like jump off a curb weird and you're just like, ah!
Right.
Yeah, maybe that.
And then we see downstairs Roger is the old TV static on the TV, which I hate a lot also. That was also in Paranormal Activity.
Yeah.
And he hears a banging and is trying to find it. This whole scene is very tense because, looking for where the banging is coming from. I hate
and
it.
just hearing the banging and him just like, where? And it's a huge house with a million doors. It feels like it has like 30 different ways to get in and out of this fucking place.
Yeah. So he's just like checking every door with like the slow, like tense, like build up. And you're just like, where is it coming from?
What is going on?
And then he like gets to the foot of the stairs and the oldest daughter is like standing there and it's like quite a jump scare because it like cuts to her.
It's a good scare. And she's like in a nasty nightgown, which is always creepy.
Yeah.
And just kind of standing there. And He's like, what is going on? You should be in bed.
And she's like, Cindy, one of the other daughters, many daughters, is sleepwalking again. And she is banging her head against the closet in the oldest daughter's room.
Yeah, this big, like, nasty wardrobe. Oh, that you saw where, like,
that's distressing.
Which came with the house, guys.
Oh,
bad news.
No.
Awful.
This wardrobe does not.
Yeah, and she's like banging her head against it, sleepwalking.
And so Roger comes in,
very spooky,
puts his hand between her head and the closet and kind of guides her back to her bed.
Yeah.
So the next morning, the mom has some new bruises.
More bruises.
And she's like,
and like
more sex?
Did we have sex?
I think this time she's like, what the fuck? She's like a little more confused, but
yeah. And her husband's like, hey, go to the doctor. She's like, okay.
So the oldest daughters all go to school and only one of the daughters is young enough to stay home. Roger goes to work. So it's just the mom and the youngest daughter in the house, April. And she like hears her talking to someone in a room.
She's like having a tea party.
And she's like, who are you talking to?
And there's a cool shot of like just seeing the girl in the door, and then the mom pushes the door and nobody's there because like the girl's talking like having a conversation with someone.
That's scary.
She's like, so you're talking to my friend Rory.
My new friend Rory.
Oh.
And she like has her little music box and she's like, if you turn the little music thing in the music box, you can see him behind you.
Oh, no.
And this is a part where, normally I would have closed my eyes and I forced myself to watch it.
Yeah, you did.
And she does it and she sees a very creepy little like 18th century boy.
Wait, that's Vera. I don't think she sees one yet because there's the scare of her closing it and it's her kid.
Oh, right. Sorry, I spoiled it for later.
It's fine.
But
I think we all knew what was coming.
Either way, it's a spooky scene.
It's fucking scary. And then the kid's like, "Can we play clap?" Is that what it's called? Hide and clap.
And the answer is no after seeing an 18th century ghost. Oh, wait, no, she hasn't actually seen the ghost yet.
Sorry.
Okay.
So the answer is yes.
So the answer is, of course, let's play. And so she's like, okay, Mom, you're it. Tying a blindfold around her and then making her spin around 10 times. And she's like, remember, you get you get to ask 3 times for a clap or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so the game begins and, the mom's done spinning. She's like, well, and she's like, okay, first clap. And we hear it far away somewhere out down the hall somewhere. And so she's like making her way down the hall, just feeling everywhere. And there's like a huge area where she could fall over a railing and
die. It
does
seem like,
pretty risky.
A bad place to be blindfolded walking around.
Go downstairs and be like, okay.
Only on the first floor.
Only on the first floor.
Yeah.
Because she could easily flip over a railing and
it's not safe.
Fall to her death. Anyway, she doesn't. And so she keeps going and she's like, and bumps her leg and is like, okay, second clap. And then we hear second clap. And she starts to make her way into the room with this wardrobe.
No.
And she's like, and she's like, quiet. And then the doors to the wardrobe open. Creak open. And she's like, I think I know where you are, April.
She's like smiling. Like, ooh, I hear you.
Clap. And then 2 hands reach out. And she's like, I'm going to get you. She sneaks up, I'm going to get you. And you hear like a...
and she says like, I can hear you breathing.
Yes. And then as she's like getting ready to put her arms in the clothes into the wardrobe, she hears like laughing coming from the hallway.
Oh, God.
And like pulls the blindfold up and is just like, what the fuck? And turns and April jumps into the door and is like, ha, Mom, you took your blindfold off. You didn't even like...
You weren't even close.
You weren't even close. I was in a completely different bedroom. And then Mom turns around and she's like digging through being like, what did I just hear? But also playing it cool. So she doesn't freak April out.
Freak out her
the
daughter.
hands that came out, what did they look like?
They're gray. They're gray and spooky.
Gray and spooky. big
Ghost
old
hands.
sleeves, like kind of like what you think a pilgrim shirt would look like.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a fantastic scene. So damn scary.
Oh God. And then we're back in Christina and Nancy's room for the following night, and this is the I think the scariest part of the movie.
This this scene I think about too often when I'm about to go to bed.
No. Okay, well, tell us about it so we can also think about it before we go to bed, too.
After this scene where I had to turn it off multiple times in hotel rooms and stuff, being like, too scary.
This is the cutoff point.
So we're back in that room. Christine is sleeping with her legs out, and boom, pulls her leg, and she's just like, "What? Stop it, Nancy! Stop it! Whatever." And then, there's a slow, kind of like Paranormal Activity, like a slow. Not slow, but a low sound. Like a low, like, where you're like, something's going on.
Something's up.
And then a bigger whoosh pulls her almost completely off to where she wakes up and she's just like, what the fuck's going on?
And she sees like no one is, she sees Nancy is asleep.
Nancy's
so she's
asleep,
like
nobody's
freaking
around.
out.
And she's just like, what the fuck? And so she goes to look under her bed.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
And she makes her way down, looking under the bed.
And very creepy shots.
Very creepy shots.
Peeking under the bed.
Nothing. Okay, but we see under the bed towards, and the door was open, right?
The
to
door's
the hallway.
open.
Door's open to the hallway. We see like a part of Nancy's bed, but nothing. And so she's like looking upside down, and then the door starts to like move a little bit, right?
Yeah, it just like creaks closed a bit. So the like darkness behind the door, like you can't see what's behind it, but it's like, and she's looking at it like she's just terrified.
Such a good actor.
This is Joey King, and this is the first thing that I saw her in, and I remember being like, "Oh, this little girl is a good
I remember that
actress.
too, like just in this area, being like, she's fucking good,
Yeah.
and she is.
She is. She's really good.
And she starts fucking.
She's just
freaking
panicked, and she's like, "Nancy,
out.
Nancy, wake up!"
And like starting to cry,
and she's crying, and she's like, my palms started sweating at this point. They're sweating again now. And she's like, Nancy, wake up. And Nancy wakes up and like puts on her glasses, and she's like, Joey King goes like, do you see it behind the door? Like, can you see it?
And it's just, we're seeing it too, and it's just pure black.
It's
and
just
she's
pitch black.
There's something behind that door.
Oh my God.
And then Nancy walks over and she's like, you're being crazy. And she like walks over and like stands like right by it. She's like, there's nothing over here.
And she's like, it's right behind you. Like it's standing above you.
It's right behind you. And then the door slams closed. Shut. And then you go into the parents' room and you just hear the girls like screaming,
losing their mind.
And the parents like run in,
and they're like
and they
trying
can't
to get
open the door.
Ooh.
And they eventually get in. Oh man, I have so many chills.
It's so scary.
They eventually get in, and this is like Joey King's like such a good like scream. Like she's just crying.
Yeah. And it's just like, somebody's in here. And of course, Dad's like, nobody's in here, whatever. And like, everybody's just like, what the fuck? Okay.
Oh, and Joey King says, they're like, what happened? And she says, it told me it wants my family dead. It wants my family dead.
Oh, so good.
But they haven't actually been harmed, like physically harmed.
No.
Right.
Just emotionally traumatized.
Just
a long period of time.
Are we to understand that the Nancy, the other sister, didn't see whatever Joey?
I think she felt it, right?
She was screaming
too.
When
The door slammed, she was just like, oh fuck.
But she couldn't.
But she didn't hear.
It.
Yeah.
They couldn't hear. Yeah, I want your family dead.
I want my family dead. She's really good. So nasty.
I was literally on the edge of my seat while you guys were telling us that.
God, it was so spooky.
It's such a good, scary scene.
And so then I think it's the next night, but maybe this same night, the mom has like more bruises, and that's when the husband is like, please go get that checked out. Or no, the husband is maybe gone. He goes out somewhere.
Yes, he's a truck driver.
So he's gone for the night.
Mm-hmm.
And the mom, Carolyn, hears clapping.
Yeah, she hears like giggling and like running and then clapping. And she's like girls, don't. And everybody's asleep. Like she's asleep.
Well, she's like, it's like the middle of the night. And she's like, girls, it's way too late. Like, why are you playing hide and clap? And then she goes into each of their rooms. They're all asleep.
No. Oh, God, no.
And all of a sudden, this huge crash.
Big crash.
And as she turns around, she sees all of the pictures that are going down the stairs of like her family have been knocked down. And she hears like running and like laughter. As though somebody just ran
like
down. Like,
yeah.
And so she's just like, what is this? Who's here? And makes her way down.
She makes her way downstairs and she's still hearing the clapping and she's kind of tracing it to the very spooky basement.
Yes.
She goes in and gets like,
is this where
totally freaked out?
Doesn't she also hear like the door opens to the basement and she hears the 3 notes she played on the piano?
Yes.
Oh,
doom, doom, doom. And she's just like, what is going on?
Something is fucking with you.
Yes.
Don't go down there.
She goes down.
Nope.
So she's down there, and I think maybe she's looking around, and it looks awful. Things are covered, so it constantly looks like classic sheet ghosts are around. Something's there. And then, the ball rolls
out, and she's like, fuck this. And she goes back up the stairs.
She runs up the stairs.
And she's like, whoever's down here, like, I'm shutting you in here. And then as she turns to walk out, the door slams closed into her face and knocks her back down the stairs.
Yes.
And the like light of the basement, like the light bulb like shatters. So it's like pitch black.
Yes.
So you just like hear her like kind of screaming and freaking out.
Yeah,
and she
like crawling up the stairs.
And she runs back up the stairs.
And she can't get out. But the matches from her husband, when they were looking down there, are still on the thing. So she strikes a match. And she's just like, and she's hearing, or maybe not.
Oh my God, yes. Okay, she hears a child's voice say, wanna play?
Wanna play?
Oh, come on.
Wanna play hide and clap or something like that?
Hide and clap. And then hands come out from behind her, from the dark,
and clap right next to her head. And the match goes out,
and she
loses her shit,
and
loses her fucking
freaking out.
And then at the same time, in the room with the nasty wardrobe, the oldest
Andrea's
daughter,
the oldest daughter. It's her room.
Wakes up to the knocking, like thunk, 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 and her sister's sleepwalking again, banging her head into that wardrobe.
Oh no.
And she's like, uh-oh.
So she moves her she says, okay, you can sleep in my room tonight, moves her into the bed, gets her tucked in, and then it starts banging again.
Dunk. And she's looking over and she's like, what? And her sister's asleep. And so she goes and makes her way to the wardrobe.
Why? No, why?
I don't know, because you're curious.
Curiosity killed the cat.
Thank you. You gotta check it out. If your wardrobe was banging, you check it out.
Fuck no.
Yeah, what's going on with my clothes? And so she opens the doors, and I think at some point the girl who is asleep and sleepwalking just sits straight up with her eyes. Sorry to scare you. It was my foot hitting a thing. Sits straight up like fucking Dracula coming out of his fucking
She like
coffin.
rises up looking.
She rises up looking.
Scary.
Is she pointing?
She does eventually.
Okay.
So the girl is like looking in the closet. Andrea's looking in the
closet. She doesn't know that her
closet.
sister's up behind her.
Right.
Well, and I think this sister is
She like
looking.
gasps or something.
She makes something where Andrea turns back and looks to her sister in the bed, and her sister is looking above the closet.
And it's just like, hi, like making some sort of noise. And then other sister looks up, and it's like the shot is of a fucking old lady,
disgusting
an
demon
old,
woman,
disgusting demon woman in like a nasty nightgown, crouched
on
and then jumps down on her. And so they start fucking screaming. So mom is in the basement fucking screaming. These kids are screaming. Dad pulls up in his big rig
home after a
with
night
his
of work.
fucking lunchbox. Here's screaming from far away in the house, and he's just like, "Oh God, what's going on?" Gets the mom out. They run upstairs. All the kids are fucking freaking out, and the oldest daughter is still on the ground,
like wrestling something that they can't see.
Oh no!
And so they're all just like, "Yeah, this place is fucking wild." And it's awesome.
Yeah. So
wait, there's a shot of her wrestling something you can't see.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
There's a few shots like that are really cool.
Yeah.
Some of the filmmaking is great. So they've had a very bad night, and I feel like at this point everyone has had some amount of a run-in, and so
except the dad, really,
family
right?
is freaked. But I think he trusts like that something is up.
That is pretty nice, like, because so many movies,
someone is like,
somebody's like, you guys are all on your period.
right. This house full of women think they're being haunted.
Yikes.
Yeah.
But no, like usually it is just like, nope, you guys are nuts. We can't, like, everything seems pretty normal of how people would act in a situation like
no one's
this.
diminishing it. No one's dismissing
They're like, something's fucking up. This is crazy.
We are staying here because we bought this place and don't have
a
money
choice
or anywhere to go. But it's not like, you guys are all crazy. He's, after this night especially, he's like, oh, okay.
He buys it. He's like, okay, my family is scared. Something is happening, and I'm taking it seriously. Yeah. So then we cut back to the Warrens in another classroom teaching the 3 stages of demons, I guess, where they're like, it's in 3 stages. It's infestation, oppression, and possession.
And as they're like describing that, the cameras move in to then get on the mom. What's her name?
Caroline.
And it's talking about like the demon will always possess like the weakest one in the family. And it's just like her sitting there looking crazy.
It has to be an insult on top of everything else.
The one whose hair just looks the messiest all the time. I'm a mom of fucking 20 kids. I don't believe in birth control. And so, it zooms her and she's like, watch. And they show another like exorcism happening with like a dude whose eyes are crying red. So I guess, or blood. So bleeding. Not crying red, bleeding. An upside down cross is like
appearing on his side
under his skin.
So Carolyn comes up to them after class and is like begging them, like, please, we need your help. Something is going on.
Oh, Vera's wearing a very big collar.
Yes.
This is when she's wearing the big collar.
Yeah, she looks incredible.
She is fabulous.
She's great.
Unbelievable. And just this whole movie, just like, I don't know.
Yeah, she's
really
perfect.
Great.
She's perfect.
Everything she's in, perfect.
Yeah, she's perfect.
So they're like, okay, we'll come and check it out.
They agree, and they go to the house, and they walk in, and Lorraine, Vera Farmiga, is like kind of immediately kind of hit with it, and she's like, Ed, there's something here. Like they're not wrong. Like
and
this is the real thing.
The family is sleeping in their living room.
Yeah.
Because it's gotten too scary for them.
Yeah. So they feel safer it's sleeping all together.
Yeah. And they had to like tie doors closed because all throughout the night, they would just hear 3 knocks at a time. And Ed's like, whoa, that's like usually a demon taunting
the Holy Trinity.
The Holy Trinity is 3s.
I like this reaction. I like that they're all sleeping together. I like that they're taking it seriously.
Doesn't it feel like
more realistic?
That's what you would do.
You wouldn't just brush it off.
We're all fucking.
Even
I would
if
not
nothing
brush
is
it off.
happening, if your fucking family's waking up screaming in the middle of the night, like, we'll all sleep together. Let's figure this out.
Lights on.
We are not taking any chances.
Whatever we want. Exactly.
And they like say that the clock has been stopping at 3:07 every night. All the clocks stop at 3:07.
Knocking all the stuff that's going stops when the sun comes up. And so Ed and Lorraine are like, whoa.
So Lorraine goes off with April and is like, tell me about your friend Rory.
Yeah.
And this is where we get the scene that I spoiled earlier,
Yeah.
Where she looks in the music box, creepy tension building up as she's winding the little knob.
It's a long, nasty song.
And
she's zooming it around, like she's moving it all around. Be like, where is this little weirdo?
And you see the creepy little boy, and she turns around and he's not there, but she can see him in the mirror.
And he's wearing like nasty, like old clothes look like
the hands.
Yes.
Yeah.
So how old is he, do you think?
Nice.
He's a little boy.
He looks like 9.
Very creepy.
Very creepy. Lorraine goes outside and she's walking by this big spooky tree and looking at thereby on like a lakefront. Her husband Ed comes out to check on her, and as she turns around to look at him,
oh no,
you see her face, and then she sees something and is looking really scared. Cut to dead hanging feet behind
Ed, and he has no clue.
He can't see it.
I don't know.
And you hear just like a rope creaking on a branch. Just like,
so a woman hung herself off this tree.
Yeah,
is the implication.
And it's a really good scare. And then they go into the house, right? And they're like talking to them, being like, okay, like Lorraine is like, I've seen something. There's something latched to you guys.
Yes.
You can't, like, moving out will not work.
Because it's latched
to you.
It's connected to you.
Yes.
Oh, it's like paranormal activity.
And they're like, well, she's like, there are a lot of spirits here, but there's only one that I'm really worried about because it's so hateful. And I really hated that. Just one really evil one.
Just one hateful spirit.
And they're like, are your kids baptized? And they're like, no. And they're like, you might want to get baptized.
Your kids baptized.
So
because
Christianity's real.
And they set up. There is a part. There is a part where there's a part where Ed says God is real, the devil is real, and like we have to pick a side, essentially.
So this is a religious film.
A bit. He like sets up crosses around, and maybe this hasn't happened yet, but he does say that it like irritates demons when they see any religious.
Yeah.
What would them getting baptized do?
See, that's where I feel like wouldn't that
well they have like
piss them off more, like where it's just kind of I guess maybe
somehow?
Because
God is ultimately more powerful than the devil. So if you've got God on your side, you're chill.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
I'm pretty sure that's Christianity in a nutshell.
I think so.
If you got that inside, you're chill.
You're chill. Don't worry about it.
So they sit down and with the recording, and so they're like starting a new case, and they're interviewing the parents, and they're like, we're with, Carolyn and Roger Perone, and tell us what's been happening. And they kind of go through some of the stuff. And that's where they're like saying, like, here's the deal. Like, it's a demon.
Yep. Clocks
blah, blah,
always stop, all this stuff.
Then they get home.
Ooh.
And they play back the recording.
No.
And Carolyn's voice didn't record.
Carolyn's
everyone's
voice
voice is there except for the mom's.
Isn't that fucked up?
I hated that a lot.
That's one of the scariest things. I had
So
never
scary.
seen.
Yeah,
That's smart.
Movie, and
it
I'm
was
like,
smart.
that's
It was scary.
smart.
And
Oh my God.
then we get some. Lorraine has been doing some research into the history of the house
Yes.
and the previous owners, and she says basically like the original tenant was a descendant of like an accused witch of the
Yes.
Salem witch trials.
Yes.
And I think this
England,
is true
Yeah.
because this is based on a true story.
Named Shebeth.
It's something like that. I didn't write it down because I couldn't.
It's a fun name.
Yeah,
That's
it's
fun.
like
Yeah.
Bethesda or something like that.
Shebeth.
Something like that.
Something fun.
I think we should go with
Something
Shebeth.
biblical.
Shebeth. Shira.
Shibboleth.
And basically, they say how she swore her allegiance to the devil and hung herself in the tree out
Yeah.
front and cursed like everyone that has lived there since.
Yeah, and the land, right? Like,
and the land, yeah. And then since then, a lot of the tenants have killed themselves, killed their children. There is like a maid that had killed herself, a little boy that
got killed.
and then the mom also killed herself.
Yeah.
I can't remember. People
Wait.
drowned. And these are the real things
the
that
devil
happened.
real?
Well, that's what I was like. I need to find proof that they're all just lying. That they're all just want attention. Oh, and then the tape starts playing on its own.
No.
And guess what time it is?
3:07.
Yeah, it is. And they're like, uh-oh, we got some work to do.
And the tape just plays back like screams. Like it's not an interview.
This is to Ed and Lorraine.
This is to Ed and Lorraine just in their kitchen doing work.
Staying up late.
Staying up too late.
Oh, and it's just screaming.
It's like demon screams. It's like inhuman, like
it's awful. It's nasty.
It's so bad. So yeah, they're like, we gotta help these people.
Yeah.
They're in big trouble.
Yep.
So then they have their two like people that work with them. They have like a cameraman and a tech man.
Yeah, and the camera
like,
dude is a cop.
Yes.
And I think they're like to make sure that there's protection.
Yeah,
or something.
and he's skeptical. He's like, whatever. He thinks he's like, this is all stupid.
I'll just make some money, whatever.
Yeah, and
He's
so
their muscle.
they're like, basically, we're gonna move in with you guys and set up cameras everywhere, and we're gonna. Oh, because basically, well, I don't know. They need proof.
They need proof in order to do an exorcism.
They need permission from the church to do an exorcism because Ed is not an ordained priest.
Yes.
So he cannot perform the exorcism. So they're applying, I think, for permission, but in order to get it, they need proof.
Yeah.
So they set up cameras everywhere and
bells on the door,
bells on the doors,
scary.
Cameras set up to like motion detect if somebody's walking by.
It really feels like once you have proof, it's too late. So
true.
That doesn't seem like an accurate workflow or efficient workflow to me.
And then Lorraine is for some reason doing laundry at the house.
Oh yeah. Wait, does anything happen that first night?
I don't think so. I think maybe it's a fake out.
I think so.
The door opens. So the cellar door opens.
Oh, and they go down.
And they don't, and nothing
where
happens.
It's that kind of like found footage and you can only hear what's through his mic, which was cool. But then, nothing really happens.
And the clocks don't stop at 3:07.
Yes, because they're all there, like
the
up
demons
at 3:07.
We see what you're up to.
Yeah, we get it. So it keeps going. And so the cop is like...
The cop is like, told you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is all bullshit. And they're like, okay, whatever. And then...
Next day
they're having like pancakes. Having
a nice morning. They have their first like good night's sleep in a while.
Yeah.
The kids are so like, happy that they're there.
Yeah, everybody's just like, thank goodness you're here. Like, we're happy.
Things are back to normal.
Yeah.
And Lorraine is doing laundry.
Blew my mind.
Hanging up laundry outside on those little things.
Clothesline?
Clothesline.
Yep.
Thank you.
And like Ed comes out and they like canoodle a little bit, and she's like, "Oh, isn't this
so
family
beautiful.
awesome?" And they're like, "Yeah, we gotta help him, Ed. Okay, we will." And then Ed leaves, and then
also in an earlier scene, this is a weird place to shoehorn it in, but she had a scene with her daughter where her daughter had given her a necklace and has each of them have a necklace. So her daughter has a necklace, a little locket with a photo of Ed and Lorraine. And she's like, and I got one for you with a photo of me.
Yes.
And so Lorraine's wearing this locket with a photo of her daughter in it.
Her daughter, Judy.
So sorry, just popped into my mind.
Yes.
That'll come back.
Yeah.
But okay, right now they're doing she's hanging the laundry on the clothesline.
All of their fucking sheets because there's 8 of them and there's so many sets of sheets. Too many people. So she's like doing laundry, and then all of a sudden it gets really windy, like the clouds are rolling.
Well, I think
in.
Ed goes back inside too. She's like by herself out there,
and all the kids and the dad went to get ice cream. So it's kind of just the 3 of the like her, Ed, and then the mom in the house. No. And the mom was like,
oh my God,
feeling kind of shitty.
And was like, I'm going to lay down because I haven't gotten
a good please sleep. Get rest. We'll take care of everything. And so she's doing a lot. And so the wind's blowing, picking up, and she's like yanking the sheets off, putting them in the basket. And then one white sheet fucking blows off and gets caught on like a human form that we never saw. It's one of the coolest scares ever. that we
and it stays there for like
and it
a
stays
couple
there
seconds.
for a couple of seconds and then shoots off
and then blows away.
Smashes up against the window of the mom's room. And then it shoots away from there, and there's fucking nasty demon in pajama lady standing in the window, and then just slowly like She-Beth, and then just slowly turns to her left and like walks on, and Lorraine is just like, oh God no, like,
and she
runs
like
into the house, and she's just like, Caroline, like trying to get to her.
And then we cut to the what's going on with Carolyn, and she's in bed, and that's when we get the like fingerprint bruises appearing on her arm. Like she's being squeezed on her arm, and then she shoots up like screaming, like her mouth open, and then we get this very spooky shot of the demon coming into frame, like floating above her. And she's disgusting and horrible looking.
And then she like pukes blood into or something.
Yeah, it looks like she's like projectile vomiting blood like, into Carolyn's mouth.
Her mouth.
Oh no.
And so then like Lorraine is running up banging like, Carolyn, hey, what's going on? And like banging on the door, can't get in. And she does get in, and Caroline's in the bathroom, and she hears her just like puking or retching, whatever, and she's like, hey, what's going on? And then finally goes to a different door, and Caroline opens it up, looks fucking nuts, and she's like, I'm fine. Like Mana and I joke about that all the time.
She's like, I'm
fine. There's no demon in me. Like, wait, what? Nobody asked you. I'm fine. I'm just like, she looks like she got nailed by a demon.
Yeah,
she looks crazy, and like comes out of the bathroom. She's like, I just am not feeling very well, and I kind of want to be like, Lorraine,
you saw the
powers.
Yeah, we should have been
so
aware.
Lorraine doesn't notice. She believes her.
She's like looks like a little suspicious, but is also like, okay, I guess nobody got hurt. And then I think it goes to that night, and the cop hears something.
Oh yeah,
this is a part where I was closing my eyes a little bit.
Okay,
thank you for your honesty.
Like it starts with just like a classic. Is that
like
a door
like
opening?
Like banging or some sort of noise, and he's moving down the hall. And it's the thing where he's looking out the window at nighttime, and so you can't see anything that's out there. It's just black, and I'm always like, something's smashing through that window.
Yes. Yes.
So I was very scared, and he goes outside. There's like a creepy porch swing.
Oh, nasty.
Ugh. And
nasty.
It's all very slow and tense and creepy, and he nothing's out there, and he comes back in, and there's a maid,
and she's like showing her wrists that have been cut.
And so then he walks in and is like, hello, like, who's there? But so she jumps out and her wrists are slit, and she's chasing at him, screaming, look what she made me do.
Yeah.
Look what she made me do.
Oh, no.
And then he is freaking out.
Yeah.
And
then all of the family hears that and runs in. He's like, I saw like a woman. She was in a maid's outfit. Like,
and then so they have their like camera tripwires. And so they're all in the like kitchen area, and a camera goes off.
And it's those loud as hell. Like,
it's like like the bulb flash, and you see the sleepwalking daughter walking
once
by.
again in nasty nightgowns. I would be like, guys, we're wearing shorts and t-shirts. These flowing nightgowns we cannot have in our house anymore. They're too creepy.
We need to start a clothing line called Nasty Nightgowns.
Nasty nighties. Ew.
But so Ed and Lorraine immediately like start following, and they're like, look on the camera, like see or the audio or whatever.
Yes.
And the parents are like, what are you talking about? Like, that's Cindy. Like
she sleepwalks.
She sleepwalks, and they were like, she's not what triggered it. It was before her. She's with someone.
Yeah, and they're like, something's with her, and they're like watching her as she gets to the top, go into the fucking room with the wardrobe.
Oh, no.
And as soon as she gets in, boom, the door slams. And that's when everybody runs up. They can't get into the door. The dude is listening and he hears like, can I show you? Like a little spooky ghost voice going like, I want to show you something or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Want to see something? Something like that.
Follow me. Yeah.
Something awful.
Something creepy. And then I think they eventually break the door open and
she's nowhere to be found.
She's nowhere. That's right. Oh
she's
my God,
nowhere
I forgot.
to be found.
She's
It's
not in
ice
there.
cold. Like now you can see their breath in this room. And the dad's like, where is she? Where is she, Ed? Where is she? And he's like, I don't know. And
Ed's
they're like,
get me the UV light.
Yes.
Because that will show where the footsteps went.
Oh.
And they go into the closet.
and they go into the fucking wardrobe.
No.
And so he like opens it up and with the UV light sees a bunch of handprints on like
On
a
the
panel
back
in the
panel.
wardrobe. And so he's like, turn the lights on, and they open it up and there's a fucking hole in the wall.
There's like a false back and a little like hideaway
And he
behind
like
the
sneaks his
wardrobe.
head in, and Sleepwalker
Cindy is
like curled up asleep in a nasty nightgown.
No.
It's horrifying.
Yeah.
So he's like,
But
I
she's
found
alive.
her.
She's
Yes,
alive.
She's totally fine. Didn't even really know
She
what
was asleep.
happened. She was
Yeah.
sleeping. They get her out, and then April is like, oh, that's where Rory goes to hide when he gets scared.
Emily's looking really upset.
Isn't that fucking gross? So then Lorraine's like, give me your music box.
She goes into the little crawl space.
Yeah, she
and
has the music box.
Has the music
And
box.
finds the place like there's like a clear spot amongst a bunch of dust and other toys that clearly the music box fits into. So it's
Oh,
like, ew,
God.
Rory gave that to the little girl early on. Nasty.
Yuck.
And she finds a rope,
She finds like she's
pulls it up,
pulling
and it's a fucking noose.
It's a noose.
And she's just like, okay. And then she falls through the wood and
like
goes
through the walls into the basement, right?
down, falling all the way down into the basement.
And they like Ed like doesn't know where she went, and
So
so
he's, like,
he's like running
banging on the
around like banging
walls.
on the walls. She's screaming, and he's like, Lorraine,
Yes.
and she's like down in the dark in the basement, like
With the
terrified
music
with
box.
the music
No.
box.
I feel she must hear crying or something, right?
Yeah, maybe
That
she
big
hears some
lady?
crying.
Pops open the music box, being like, okay, I'll be able to see what's going on.
Yeah.
Nasty. She's looking around, and holy shit, she sees this like woman
Big woman holding
a dead kid.
boy,
Rory.
no.
Our
with
boy
a
Rory.
bloody knife.
Yes.
And she says,
Look what she made me do.
Also,
And this is all through
In the
the
music-
mirror behind
mirror
her. And
in
she's
the
like,
music
oh,
box.
fuck. And then the music like stops and she closes the music box. And that lady's right there going, look what she made me do. And it's so fucking scary. So then Lorraine freaks out and then hears like that creaking of the rope in the tree. Like somebody's hanging and like
yeah,
puts her flashlight up and sees the nasty witch feet. And like
dangling.
kind of swaying at first. And then they stop moving completely. Like the swaying stops and fucking turn towards her. Their feet
flips
turn
around
towards
to
her.
face her.
And then
Oh,
fucking
no.
go flying at her. And I think she then figures out, oh, fuck, I'm in the basement. I can run up and get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, and so she runs up and like everyone's
Yes.
commotion in the living room.
Yes.
Everyone's freaking out.
And all the fucking crosses start falling.
All the crosses
put up to
fall off
provoke.
the shelves, and I think Christine is like Nancy, and her hair starts like a piece of her hair starts lifting off of her head, and then she is just pulled,
Yanked up.
thrown through the air, smashes into like the wall and bookshelf,
Yeah.
and is then being dragged across
And like
the house.
everybody's trying to get her and she keeps just getting pulled away from people. And then
By
finally,
her hair.
by her hair.
finally Vera gets some big old scissors and is just like hunk
Yeah, cuts her hair.
Cuts her hair. And they look over and the dude was filming it. And they're like, did you get that? He's like, I got it.
So I think we've got some proof.
Time for an exorcism, baby.
Time for an exorcism. And then I think it's a cut to them all leaving the house. Like everybody getting out of there.
Oh, first Lorraine is like out at the waterfront again. And she sees her daughter in the water.
And it's terrifying.
And it's really spooky.
It's really spooky.
She it tries to grab her and then it disappears.
Oh,
and she says
she was in the basement real quick. Something was trying to hold her back by grabbing her necklace that her daughter gave her and it ripped off.
Yeah, so her necklace ripped
so now
off.
the demon knows what her daughter is.
There it is.
Yes.
Whoops, there it is. Yep.
Yeah, so it's got the necklace and she says to Ed, it's a warning. Something is going to happen.
We gotta go. And then, they're all like, let's get out of the house, stay in a motel for now.
Yep.
Because we have to perform an exorcism.
Yes.
This is too nuts. So they all kind of go their own ways, family hotel, and their helpers are with them. And then Ed and Lorraine go
to talk to a priest. And they're showing the evidence and they're like, this is the craziest case we've ever seen. And the priest is like, this is pretty crazy.
This is pretty nuts.
I'll essentially put a rush order on it.
To the Pope. Rush order to the Pope.
On the line.
I'll get the Pope. I'll hit him up.
So then we get a
scene.
Judy scene.
Yes.
Oh, no,
so
Judy.
Ed and Lorraine are on their way home. Driving home, but then Judy's asleep in bed.
I think she gets the foot
And
situation.
before that, her necklace is hanging right next to her bed, and it starts fucking moving.
No.
And then boom, foot pole. And she's like, what is this?
Yeah, and she gets up and is walking around like, Mom, Dad, Grandma.
Nana's asleep.
Yeah.
And she's kind of snooping around, just kind of like,
oh,
Dad, what? Something has to be going on.
Oh, no.
And she makes her way down a very creepy hallway.
She goes into the conduit room.
No,
yeah, because the door is open. I think she even heard it.
Yeah. And the Annabelle doll is missing. It's not in its
Annabelle's
locked
gone.
glass.
And so she's like, Dad, what's going on? Starts to make her way up back through the hallway, which is stairs and then a hallway. And this is really cool. It just starts the big noise starts happening, and then just this darkness comes down. And she starts freaking out.
And she runs to her room at the end of the hall and slams the door. And she's in there.
She's in an office or whatever.
An office,
and fucking
of course.
There's a rocking chair rocking back and forth.
She hears the old creaking.
And guess who's brushing Annabelle's hair? She-Beth. Whatever the fucking witch's name is.
Oh, no.
She's rocking and brushing her. Yes.
Face,
and Annabelle's head does the old exorcist 360 turn to look at her. And Judy's freaking out, screaming, slamming the door.
Lorraine gets a vibe and she's like, Ed, something's wrong. We have to go fast. Get home fast. And it's raining and scary to drive in. Nana wakes up and she's like, Judy!
And
Judy!
she can't get the door open. So
Judy!
they're just
Judy's a funny name to have to scream scared. Judy! So Nana's trying. Ed and Lorraine fucking pull up and she's like, something is wrong.
I think they just run in and run down to the door and Nana can't open it. And so they run in and they're like, I
think he kicks it in.
He's trying to break it down. He's like, get away from the door. And as this is happening, the rocking chair is swiveling on its own to face Judy. And then as he busts the door down, the rocking chair flies at him or at the door and shatters, and he covers Judy and protects her from it. And it's just crazy.
And they're like, uh-oh. And she was like, I saw Annabelle. And they're like, what the fuck? And so Ed goes down to that conduit room and Annabelle's in the case.
Yep.
But this shit just got personal. So now they're really we gotta
do this exorcism. They get a call.
Yes.
From Roger.
Being like, hey, my wife left and took the youngest kid and
It's April and Christine, and she's got the two youngest, and it has this very creepy shot of like her in the front seat of the car and them in the back seat. And they like look scared, and she's kind of like blank faced, and they're like, where are we going, mommy? And she's like, we're going back to the house. Something that Lorraine has figured out at this time that she like yells is she possesses the mother to kill the child. She possesses because she saw
she learned
that. She made me do.
She learned that in the basement.
Yes, in the basement she saw the mother killing the
she's
child.
Like, she's going to kill those kids.
Yeah.
And so they all rush to the house, but the cop and that other dude are there, and the husband are all there, and they're in the fucking basement, and she's got scissors, and she's like holding them up to Christine's neck as like little April's watching.
Right, and they're like holding her back. It's just commotion and
she's
craziness.
Just like full on. She-Beth is in her. Like, she looks nuts.
Yeah.
And they're like trying
Veins
to get her
bulging,
away.
Eyes bulging.
Yes.
She looks crazy.
She's so good too.
She is so good.
She's so good. Yeah. And so they finally rip her away from the girl, and they're like, they take Christine, who is like right there with scissors in her neck, and Drew is like, stay in the car. Don't move. I gotta go find April because he couldn't find the youngest one.
And I think Ed is like, I'm going to have to perform the exorcism because this is an emergency and we don't have time to wait for this. The Vatican's approval.
Yeah. He's like, even though I'm not ordained.
I'm not ordained.
He's like, I can do this. And so they're like, okay, let's do this. Exorcism.
And they kind of like wrangle Carolyn into a chair and like strap her down,
and they throw a sheet over her
Scary.
to help yeah, it's so nasty. And so they strap her down in this chair,
and it's just crazy. Like the sound is like everything's loud. She's screaming.
Everything's shaking.
Like, everything's shaking.
He starts
it's just
reading,
craziness.
Stuff and throwing
like holy water
on her, and it's like, ow. Stings her, whatever. Starts speaking in Latin or whatever, and she has a crazy voice, like crazy She-Beth voice, of like, Oh, and as this is happening, the other dude is looking for April, the little girl, and he's like running all over as birds are flying in the house. He's like, April, where are you? He then hears crying.
In like the floorboards.
In the floorboards in the kitchen. So he starts bashing it in. And then back to the exorcism.
Carolyn starts like vomiting blood
through
into the
sheet.
sheet. So the sheet is just starting to get
so
red and nasty.
And then it gets
silent.
Quiet.
Completely silent.
And they're all just kind of like, what did we?
That's also very scary.
Did we do it? And she's just sitting there. And there's like a long shot on just her like feet and the legs of the chair. And then it slowly starts rising.
She starts floating.
And she starts fucking float. Oh, I'm getting chills. It's a really horrifying vision. And so she's like floating.
And then she turns upside down.
Yes.
And they're like yelling like, let her go, let her go, let her go. And then it falls. And so the chair like smashes. So she's free.
Yeah. And like stuff starts like intentionally trying to kill people. Like, so a big nasty bookshelf almost takes out Ed. A fucking shotgun, like,
oh my God, I forgot the shotgun.
What's it called? Cocks itself and then like falls and shoots towards them.
Yes.
And she's like laughing. Is like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Drew has found the kid and is like, hey, she's in the floorboards or like in the crawl space underneath the kitchen.
Right. He like announces it and she hears it.
And she hears that and fucking
breaks
scurries.
away. But she grabs the scissors first.
She grabs the scissors and scurries into the wall.
And she just goes
and other
through
people
the
are
wall.
like following her. And so then she gets to like little April. Nobody's been able to like get her out yet because it's like just such a small crawl space. And she's able to make her way in. And she has like the kind of us looking scissors.
Yeah.
And she's like trying to stab him. And everybody's like Ed's saying stuff from the Bible. And also like to the husband being like, remind her who she is. Like, she hasn't been taken or whatever. And Lorraine's like grabbing her head.
And Lorraine is above in the kitchen, like looking down at her and putting her hand on her forehead and being like, remember who you are. Essentially, they had looked at a photo earlier of them all, like the whole family on the beach. And she's like, remember that day on the beach? Like, remember? And you see like Carolyn like
having like flashbacks,
struggling
and
freaking out and like, no, but yes, I don't know.
And like these are your like you live for these kids, all this stuff.
Yeah.
And she's like struggling really hard.
I think they like say something like, there's only so much we can do. Like she has to fight this battle internally.
And there's really nice music.
And so there's like a moment where you see her kind of become herself again because she's had a crazy demon face like
this
whole time.
Screaming and then puking out that demon.
Oh, right. She pukes.
Yeah.
She pukes out the demon.
Like just black stuff where she's just like, ah! Get it out of her. And then it kind of still looks weird.
And they're still in the crawl space.
They're still in the crawl space.
Yeah, and like April witnessed all of that.
I was going to say, and then she turns to like tiny, scared little April and is like, I'm so sorry.
She's like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's like, dude.
April's going to need a lot of therapy.
If I was April and Christine, I would constantly be like, I'm not doing my homework. Remember that time you tried to fucking kill me?
What time is curfew? Mom.
I think
I'll make
to
the
my neck.
I think I can handle myself.
My own curfew.
But yeah, just so like, I'm so sorry. So then it shows them like her in a blanket, the kids all hugging and stuff, and then we see Ed and Lorraine like hugging and being like, we did it.
Yeah, I think
we helped them.
They did it.
And the dad gives Ed like a thumbs up and a nod.
Seems like a thumbs up kind of moment.
Yeah. Hey, Ed, cool.
Cool what you did.
Cool, yeah,
Good job.
Feels
Good
like the end
job.
of like Remember the Titans.
Yeah.
Like, it was like a
Like two
sports
eyes
movie.
meet across the room. Yeah.
It does kind of like, and the music's very like
Triumphant.
and stuff, and it is kind of like a nod, like, we did it. And then we cut to Ed carrying the music box and
to put
placing
in his conduit
it in
room.
the conduit room.
Correct.
And it starts playing. It pops open and starts playing. And then it's just a big boom, blackout, Conjuring. That's the movie.
Wow.
It's really good and scary. Did you guys get scared?
Remember when I screamed?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Emily, honestly, I could watch her, like, her brain kind of tap out throughout it. I could watch her slowly be like, I'm just gonna
not gonna imagine that.
Not gonna let that
Not
affect
gonna
me.
imagine that. Okay.
I really I can't even imagine how anyone can watch this movie. I don't understand.
Scary.
I couldn't even watch the trailer. I don't understand how. I'm in awe.
It was hard. It was really hard.
Oh, the Conjuring, though, you guys.
Emily, would you see it?
I like honestly want to see this one.
Oh my god,
this is one that I want to see.
Good.
This is one that I actually want to see.
Yeah,
I do not want to see any of the previous movies we did.
You said you want to see 28 Days Later.
I do want to see 28 Days Later,
one.
but including The Lighthouse, which I did see.
You want to?
I want to see The Lighthouse again. I want to see It Chapter 2. I never, ever, ever, ever want to see this. Ever.
The Conjuring?
Maybe someday I could work myself up to the trailer. Honestly, I couldn't watch the trailer. I was too scared.
Do you guys have a scariest part? What are you gonna dream about
you
tonight?
Up the most.
Mine is that leg pull scene and him or the demon behind the door.
Oh, it's so good and scary.
That probably for me too. That was when I was on the edge of
so
scary.
Ooh, no, you know what I don't like at all? I don't like the hands that clap. I really
I think the night hands that clap one might be my favorite. Or that just straight up the sheet, dude.
The sheet did sound scary.
And it was one of those.
The sheet was good too.
I remember it blew my mind. I was like, oh,
that's an innovative idea.
That is such a very cool,
it's so cool
technique. Ooh.
It's at least watch that scare.
I don't know.
Come on, it's just cool.
Just as a GIF.
I don't
That's
know.
what I'll post on our Instagram.
Just like I could watch the one little like Pennywise waving the severed arm.
I love
I could maybe
that.
watch a GIF
That's
of that
pretty
one
funny.
moment. It was funny. It was funny.
Okay, we have to promise if any of us wake up at 3:07.
Okay, I'll tell you. Are you fucking kidding me? I'm calling you. I'm like,
call me.
I'll be like,
You call
I'm
me.
FaceTime
that
all of
alone.
us.
I'm not doing that alone. If
You
that's
call
what
me
happens
and you
to
wake me up at
The thing
3:07.
is, I think if I
that
wake
would freak
up,
me out.
if I wake up in the middle of the night, there's no way in hell I'm checking the time.
Okay.
If I do wake up in
I
the middle of the
usually
night
don't.
tonight, I'm like,
Yeah, just
Nope,
don't. Just
nope,
don't look.
Just don't look.
Betsy, this was the most fun, and I'm not trying to rush you out, but you got a show.
Oh shit! I gotta go do a show. Thanks for having
Betsy,
me.
Thank you so much for
I
coming
can't wait
in
to hear if
second
it
time.
worked or
If it
not.
works, we'll see.
It looks like it's working.
Looks good, but
Okay.
I mean, maybe we'll listen back and your
And my
audio will be
voice-
gone.
Oh my God, I'll
You
shit my
have to
pants.
play it. You have to post it, even if that's
Just
the
for
case.
That's
proof.
true.
Just for proof that there's
If
a
that's
demon in our
true,
lives.
we
We
Yeah.
need
need
it
a
for proof for the
demonologist.
Vatican.
For the old Vatican.
Oh, it's October 30th when this comes out. So
Oh,
happy Halloween! Go
Halloween.
get spooked.
Scary.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. Spooky. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Wow, we made it through October, a very spooky month. And this is Sammy, by the way. And we didn't talk about it, but The Conjuring is my personal scariest movie. I guess you could tell that I was pretty scared. But forcing myself to watch it again and then talk about it with Betsy did kind of take the edge off it a bit. And I feel a little less scared of it now. So that's cool. If you liked the episode, please subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. And if you could rate us on Apple Podcasts, that really helps us. So we'd really appreciate that. And follow us on social media at TSDW Podcast. We are on Twitter and Instagram, or you can email us at tsdwpodcast@gmail.com. We love you all very, very much, and happy Halloween. If any of you dress up as any characters from any of the movies we've done, send us a photo. We'd love to see it. And yeah, goodbye.